Hey everyone, it's Biguns here. Just thought I'd take a minute, talk about a little situation last night, early this morning, that I got into in Inglewood, California. So I got down into the valley pretty late. I stopped at a couple truck stops. They were full. We couldn't get in. Nowhere to park. They're pretty big truck stops too. And so I seen there was a Flying J Pilot down Riverside area. So I went down there since, I just fueled up in Victorville. I didn't know if maybe they charge you for staying the night, but if you fuel up, you can stay for free. So I went there. They were completely full. There was nowhere to park. So I noticed on Riverside Drive that there was semis lined up all the way down the side of the road for miles. So I just went down along with the other semis and tried to find a spot to pull off on the side that was legit. Got down in some commercial and industrial areas where there's some big factories, trucking goods, all that kind of stuff. And on the side streets, down through those buildings, there was trucks parking against the curbs. Big wide roads, plenty of space. When I went in there, I checked the curbs, for colored paint. I checked for markers. I checked for writing. There was no lettering. There was no signs. There wasn't nothing to say you couldn't park in these areas. And usually outside of Los Angeles County, apparently, you park like that all the time down in those areas. It's where commercial trucks belong. Well, anyways, I crash out, wake up this morning, pull my curtains back, and on my side mirror, I got myself a citation. A parking citation. Ain't that a mother? So I'm like kind of pissed because I'm just like, there's no markings anywhere. There ain't nothing that says anything about parking here. So I get out. I look it over once again. There ain't nothing. I look at all the other semis that are still there in the morning. They all have one of these on their mirror as well. They're still sleeping. So I think to myself, this is a freaking joke, man. This city's a scam, man. So I call them up. Finally get a hold of someone. I ask them what the deal is, give them the address. Like, oh yeah, you can't park there, you get a citation. I said, yeah, I got one, but where does it say I can't park here? And she's all, well, when you came into Inglewood city limits, there should have been a sign for you to read before you entered. And I'm just thinking to myself, all right, maybe I'm not as smart as you apparently, because how in the hell are truck drivers going to see a small little sign when there's how many entrances into a city limit? So you got a sign there, a small ass sign? And how are you going to stop and read those small letters if you do see the sign? You're just gonna shut your truck down with all the traffic and stuff just to try to read the bullshit you guys write on these signs? Well, anyways, I just tell her, how can you even fund something like this? This is ridiculous. Like, oh, our Riverside County Sheriff's Department gives out the citations. And I'm just like, so you have somebody that drives around in a sheriff's outfit that's a frickin' straight up law enforcement cop giving out bogus citations at $250 a whack? And if I just seen hundreds of semis last night and I didn't even see all the streets, I just turned in one, there's multiple streets, there could possibly be hundreds of semis that got a $250 ticket. Every night of the week, a new truck gets a ticket. Now I kind of get an idea where you guys get your money from. So, I was getting irritated, and I know it wasn't her bad or nothing, but I was nice with her and said, all right, I'll appeal it or whatever the hell when I call. So, as I'm doing that, lo and behold, here comes the straight up sheriff truck right up the center of the street, not even in his lane, looking back and forth to see who else he can cite. So I honk my horn at him. He don't even stop. Someone could have been dying or worse. He didn't even stop. So for one, he don't even really do his job correctly. Semi-horn's pretty freaking loud. Get anyone's attention. He didn't want to deal with me. He knew I had the T-yard. He knew he'd give me a ticket. He didn't want to talk to me. So, anyways, I just think this department, along with City Hall, whoever's in charge of putting these signs up, and before that, I had asked the lady, I said, how many signs do you have then? Where are they at? And she goes, well, we have a couple. They're here and there, city limits on some streets. You'll see them at the beginning of a street, but not down the big, long streets. And we're talking areas where there's no automobile traffic. It's just all commercial trucks, and they need places to park. There is not enough parking. So I'm just thinking, the sheriff, he's got himself a job where he runs around giving tickets to commercial trucks to fund their city. What a joke. This guy's a total ass clown. I'm just so pissed with what happened this morning. That takes away a big chunk of change out of your pocket, man, just for... And if they're doing that to hundreds of trucks a night, damn, they're pulling in $50,000 a night. What a joke. So I think City Hall or whoever's in charge of putting signs up, they need to put a lot more signs up. They ought to give that sheriff the signs, have his lazy ass go out. He wants to shoot his gun so bad, have him pop a couple shots off in the signs, get some lag bolts, bolt them on some poles, make them noticeable, put a bunch of them around the areas. Do something besides sit there and shove jelly donut in his face and don't even answer or look around for someone who's honking their horn at him when he's right there. Man, I tell you, I don't know. I guess he's just a big Barney Fife. That's what you get sometimes. You get ass clowns. And even those guys can wear a badge. But anyways, either way, I'll research this ticket a little more and more than likely I'll pay it. But just ridiculous that most other places you go, curbs are painted red, which means stay the frick away. Cones, lines, lettering. Come on now, you know, California. Sometimes these cities in California, that's why they get the they just get the brunt of everybody's complaints and sarcastic jokes and stuff, because they are a bunch of idiots. I mean, no one really likes to deal with their city hall and their law enforcement in most anywhere, but I feel some of those places they really care. I don't think Englewood gives a flying shit. They know that it's a big trucking industry coming in there, and they know there's nowhere for these trucks to park, and there ain't even enough truck stops and parking spots for all these trucks to fit. So they're not building any more for that reason. They're not giving up any more space anywhere else for that reason. They found a way to make money, and it's a big money maker, and that's what they're doing. So next time we go down and we enter Los Angeles County or San Bernardino or any of that crap down in the valley, I would just stay up on top, hour away, and I'll try to get me a place like in Victorville, or even stay up around Yermo. Anywhere I gotta drive just a couple hours extra in when I get ready to run the next day. It ain't worth it. Jesus. Well, I guess that's enough to rant for now. I'm gonna go ahead and find some chill time and hang out with my Lexi. She's running around wondering why Daddy's talking loud, getting all pissed. She don't like that. She gets nervous, but she understands when Daddy talks about the popos in certain areas and how they act like a bunch of dipshits. Then she gets it. Yeah, I just can't believe they have a full-time law enforcement officer who's trained to take people down, and he's running around in a brand new truck printing out tickets. Well, I guess, whatever. All right. At the end of all this, it's all good. I learned a lesson, and I hope every other hundreds of drivers learn that lesson as well, because that's crazy. All right, it's Biguns. We're done running down the blacktop tonight. We're gonna call it a night. We're gonna hang out, maybe go for a little walk, get some grub. We'll see you on the next one. Peace. So I got a parking ticket here on Sharp Avenue next to Shamrock Foods. The semis all park up and down this street. I mean, you can see all day long. And last night it was completely full. There's no red on the curbs that say no parking. There's no letters on the street that say no parking. No dotted lines for no parking. No cones. No barricades. Nothing. The only red is on the corners of every entrance and exit. I mean, how can they give you a parking ticket when you haven't done anything wrong? This is the city of Eastvale, California.